up, everybody? Welcome back to the rePORTER Show. It's your host, Justin Porter. As always, I want to welcome my co-hosts. We got both of them back today, you know what I'm saying? Devin Acosta and Josh Tucker, man. This week we had a lot of action going on. We had baseball going on, men's and women's basketball, had track, had a meet this past weekend as well, I believe, and wrestling had something going on earlier last week. So we had a lot of things going on, so we'll try to keep you guys all filled in, and hopefully you guys enjoy this one. First subject, we'll go ahead and jump straight into men's basketball. They had a matchup against MACU as a home matchup. First, not a home matchup, my fault. It was an away game. They went to Oklahoma City, and that first half, honestly, I'll say was a pretty back and forth match. Honestly, they were scoring, we were scoring, and we ended up leaving the half or going into half 34-34, I believe. But the telltale of that first half was the turnovers. We had, I believe, 14 turnovers that first half, and the opposing team had 13 turnovers in the entire game. So that tells you a little bit of where we were in that first half. So we were honestly lucky to go into the half with a tie ball game.
For sure.
But that just goes to show that that's a team that we should win against. If we got 14 turnovers and we still tied with them, that should be a game that we should honestly handle our business.
I think we played them last time. That was that buzzer beater, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I hit that buzzer beater.
Yeah. So it seemed like they got a little number on
Like
us.
it's 2-2. Well, yeah, man. We swept them last year,
Yeah.
so that's good. But obviously, who cares about last
Yeah.
year? But man, we should have beat them both times to me this year. The first time, we're missing some guys, and we gave up some key offensive rebounds, and we still lost at the buzzer. So that's kind of like, okay, you lose at the buzzer, oh well. I mean, you do. Yeah, it happens. That's basketball. But this one, man, we had 22 turnovers the whole game, and we lost by 2 points.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. The second half, I don't know if you watched the game, man. Second half, it got ugly, bro. We got down 17 with just over 6 minutes left, maybe 19.
It was 65-47.
Yep.
Yeah. So they pulled out. They went on a little run.
They
honestly.
did, man. They did. They started hitting everything.
Yeah.
The crowd got involved. I mean, the dude started shooting shots he had no business shooting and making them. So, man, they had all the momentum in the world, but we battled back. Just, you know what I'm saying, but. There's no moral victories in the sack, man. Mm-hmm. So you can battle back all you want, but you still lost the game.
You
so
got it.
I don't know. It just sucks looking at it knowing we lost by 2 and we had 22 turnovers, man. Our goal is 12 or less. So if you turn the ball over 22 times, it's not a recipe to win.
Passing that goal in the first half is.
Yeah. I mean, we really passed it in the first half. So it's like, man, we were just. I mean, it just not a good start. But
you know, what I've noticed a lot is that we like to play a fast-paced game. And I know that's a game that we've sort of always had. We always keep the ball going. But I think at some point, now then again, I wasn't able to watch it because, of course, I would have had to pay if I wanted to watch it.
Still not doing that. We're not paying.
Exactly. But I kept up with the stats. And so I noticed that we were turning the ball over a lot. And I was thinking to myself, I wonder if we still running that fast-paced game right now. Okay, I feel like – go ahead.
My question is, was it like bad passes turnovers, or was it selfish turnovers? Trying to force too much and losing the ball?
I don't want to say it was selfish. It was almost like
doing too much.
Almost like doing too much and being careless with the ball too. But I wouldn't say it was one person just dribbling the whole shot clock out and turning it over. It wasn't as much of that. It was just we're almost doing too much. That's what it was.
Trying to force a good play instead of letting the play happen.
So. It wasn't a lack of ball movement, just being careless with it. Honestly.
I hear you. Well, you heard it right there, man. I mean, it was really just a game where we turned the ball over too much. We ended up losing that game 82-84. It was a big deal for them to come back from that 47-65 deficit. So that was exciting to see, but we weren't able to pull it out at the end. We had 4 guys in double digits. We were scoring the ball. We just didn't handle the ball on the other end, and so that's where we fell against them again. So hopefully later on in the season we can
again.
Yeah,
that's the plan. Man.
We got to do something
that's
different.
The plan. We got to get them one time for sure.
I know it. That's really the wrap up of that one. We had a later game. I think it was Saturday against Southwestern Christian, also down there in the Oklahoma City area. That was a game where we sort of went in there and we knew what we were supposed to do. It's one of them games where it's like, you know, if you watch the NBA. don't nobody want to lose to the Pistons right now. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's a very good comparison for Southwestern Christian.
That's a fair
Yeah,
comparison.
bro, they won in what, 13?
Yeah, man. The thing about them, bro,
Yeah.
we're honestly, us and Langston, the only two teams that really blew them out, though. And
Yeah.
of course, I guess we beat them by 30 first time, 20 this time. But it's like their record is bad, like 1-13. They just got the first win Thursday against OPSU, but they play within 10 points of almost everybody. But it's just one of those. It was kind of a scary game because it's like, man, they the sorry team in the conference and they just came off a win.
Yeah.
So you don't want to, man. That's a game you don't want to
be that
lose.
team.
You don't want to be that team, man. So.
I'm already know. I mean, we like he said though, we handled that game pretty well. We were shooting 52% from the field, so that's solid. That's a really solid game. We did what we were supposed to do. We were scoring the ball very well, handled the ball very well. I think there were a couple of guys that were shooting the ball really well. I know DeMichael had 15 on 7 for 10 shooting. Michael had 10 points on 5 for 8 shooting. So spread it out a little bit. Got some other guys in the game. Really got going. That was a good game. But that I feel like that still doesn't take away from where we're at right now in conference. I think we're still in that middle of the pack. So the MACU one was really that's what really hurt us.
It did.
So I think if we would have won that game earlier in the week, we probably would have put ourselves in a better position going into the next week with 2 more wins on our schedule. But at the end of the day, you can't keep looking on the past.
Man, you can't. You can't. The sack is just.
It is what it is.
Y'all know how it goes, man. The sack, everybody beats everybody, unfortunately. But so we're sitting, I think, 5th, 4th, in the middle of the pack. Second is still attainable. Like MACU, obviously they got the tiebreaker over us now, so that won't hurt us. But we can still obtain second. And I'm first. Obviously isn't locked down. I don't expect Langston to lose, but you know, first isn't for sure locked down either. So. We're still in the fight. We're still in the hunt. But, yeah, man, that loss definitely didn't help us by any means.
Yeah. Just checking it right here. We are right there where you said we're in the 5th spot at 9-5 in conference. So, really got to lock down on these last couple of games.
Yeah, we got 8 games left.
Because there's, like you said, it's a battle right now. Science and Arts 9-5. Southwestern Assemblies of God 9-4. Mid-America Christian 11-3. So those 4 positions behind the first team, Langston, is literally 1 or 2 game difference.
Yeah, it is.
So it's gonna come down to the.
It's gonna come down to the wire, man.
Yeah, it is.
It's gonna be fun, man. That's
So
the fun thing about it.
hopefully we can do what we're supposed to do this week. We'll talk about those upcoming games at the end of the show. Next we got women's basketball, man. They sort of had a rough one as well. I will not lie. That they were against MACU as well. That on a Thursday away game. That first quarter was just a rough one. They got out of that first quarter with only 1 shot made. They got out of the first quarter with a total of 7 points. So that was very surprising to see, especially coming off a win. I'm thinking they're going to be on fire. You know, they're going to keep things going. But it didn't happen. One thing that I did recognize in that first quarter, though, was that Megan only had 1 field goal attempt. Now, what I will say is I know maybe she passed it up, maybe she didn't take the shots that, you know, she could have had, but at the same time, if my offense is struggling, I'm probably going to try to force feed the hot hand. You know what I'm saying? I got to get something going. You know, I can't get out of the first quarter with only 1 field goal attempt from the lady that's been getting double-doubles for the past 5-6 games. I'm feeding her the ball until we can get something going. You know what I'm saying? That's my thinking. Now, then again, you know, I know I didn't watch the game. So maybe they were feeding her the ball and it just didn't work out that way. Yeah, maybe they double her. Yeah. It could have been like some things like that. So maybe they had that locked down in the first quarter. So that was a tough one for them. They got to that first quarter, I believe.
On top of that, though, like with that being said, she like we said, she's been balling out.
Yeah.
Double-doubles across the board. So with that being said, like, you have to be, as a team, you have to be prepared. I mean, of course, they're probably practicing that and stuff like that with the offense not running through her because other teams are going to try to shut that down.
Yeah.
If that's your main point of offense, that's obviously going to be trying to shut down. But, I mean, I feel like everybody else got to step up with that. You know what I'm saying? Be prepared to step up. You can't really look to rely on
one person.
On Megan to carry the load. And I'm not saying they didn't. I mean, they're obviously out there playing hard and stuff like that. But
think about the girls, man. They got talent all across the board, in my opinion. I mean, to me, anybody in their starting 5 can have 20 that night. It just depends. So, Megan, I mean, can't take nothing away from her. Man, she's been obviously just frying everybody the past few weeks. So I understand why they want to play with her, but like you said, man, we got enough talent.
Yeah,
If they're doubling Megan, I think it's not smart at all to leave any of the starting five or anybody on the girls' team wide open because they'll make you pay for it. So,
yeah, I think what we've also had problems with though with that is I think when they force that hand, they make us shoot the ball. We haven't been as confident shooting the three this year. Our 3-point percentage is way down compared to what we used to be, what we're used to seeing from the Flying Queens. I don't know what has to change about that. Maybe they got to change up their shot selection. Maybe they start in a little more, get your shots in first, and then go back out to the deep threes and do what you do. But I think that is also another aspect of the game where they're really struggling right now because if they can't feed the paint but they can't shoot the three, what can you do? You know what I'm saying? So I think that was really tough for them as well. You know, I think at first, you know, Taylor Houston, she was really a big presence in the paint. I think finding a balance, you know, to still have her in a game to where if Megan is getting doubled or if she's not able to really receive the rock where she wanted, then you still got another big down there that can really handle the business. And I don't feel like we've
utilized her
enough. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And that's no disrespect to anybody. I mean, I know there's plenty of weapons on the team, but like I feel like she could definitely be used a little more.
Yeah, especially if you got both of them on the floor at the same time. Megan's gonna be a distraction.
Yeah.
Like the focus is on her. So like you said, with Taylor in the game, allow Megan to be a distraction, feed Taylor, and then even if she's not getting shots, work inside out.
Yeah. True. Yeah. And that's really the thing right there. So and along with that, they sort of were on the same page as the guys in that first game, and they had 9 turnovers in the first quarter as well. So not only were they not putting up shots, they were turning the ball over time and time again. So that's a rough way to start out a game. You know, it's hard to come back from that. But we still went into the half 28-30. We was only down by 1 possession. And so that just goes to show how much better we are than MACU as a whole, men's and women's basketball. We can turn over the ball and still be able to fight back into a game and earn our way back into it. But that second quarter, I'm pretty sure that they really started going back to what they do. You know what I'm saying? Megan had the ball a lot. She scored 10 of her 21 points in that second quarter. She ended up with 21 points, 22 rebounds on 8 for 11 shooting. So, you know, another double-double. Yeah. And so that was that. And the second half was much better as well. We were shooting 50% in the second half from the field. We were doing the thing. And we took the lead early in the fourth quarter, 52-51. Didn't turn out that way at the end of the game. We ended up losing 62-69. But I thought, to me, it was always just, if you don't start out well, it's hard to finish on top. Not saying you can't do it, because we've seen plenty of teams not start a game very well and still win the game. Sure. But you put yourself in a hole, you got to do a lot more than what you should be doing against a team that you shouldn't have to struggle against.
Especially in an away game.
Yeah, bro.
That makes it that much harder.
The amount of like mental fortitude you have to be able to stick through that, turnovers, not hitting shots, the crowd, everything. All those factors play into it. So especially when you dig yourself a hole like that with 1 made field goal in the first quarter, like, I mean, I give them props for bouncing back and taking the lead in the fourth, but I mean, at that point,
it's hard.
They should have I think they're more than good enough to have had at least a 5-point lead after the first quarter, something like that. Bro. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, this is what Coach Cooper had to say about it. He said ultimately it came down to the first quarter. Just like we said, he said, can't start out the game up tight and commit so many turnovers and get yourself down by 13. If you spend too much energy fighting back, which we did, but at that point, we're so tired that we let some things happen defensively that we hadn't allowed the whole game. We have to learn from it and get better. And I mean, that's the thing, man. I mean, it was perfect.
Yeah,
I mean, that quote's gonna be on the board for y'all to see. So, I mean, he couldn't have said it any better. He already knew what the deal was after the first quarter. I mean, at the end of the day, all the coach can do is coach. He can't step out on the court and do it for you. So as a team, y'all got to handle it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got to get out there on the court and do what y'all supposed to do.
Yes.
And that's that for the MACU game. Going into Southwestern Christian game, first quarter struggles again. Down 16-6 in the first quarter until freshman Peyton North came in and scored 5 straight points and added some free throws as well. So I think it was 7 straight or 7 points in total. That sort of brought us back to 19-11 before the second half, or the second quarter, I mean. And the rest of the game, the team picked it back up. Like I said,
Just need that little spark.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
Shout out to Peyton.
Yeah.
You just need that little spark, get the fire going.
Yeah, it seems like, we weren't even, we got a few maybe layups from Megan first quarter, but we weren't getting the shots we usually get, and like we had to settle for late, deep threes late in the shot clock. And I know, man, it seems like Peyton came in. I don't know if she got a steal or who got a steal, but they got a steal off rip, got a layup, and then I think she got a midi as well right after that, and then got some free throws. But that was some big time minutes she played, especially somebody who's been. I don't want to say in and out of the rotation, but she's been quiet. Some games she played 25 minutes, some games she'll play 5 minutes. So for her to still come in and be confident and do her job like that was big time for them.
When the numbers called, she stepped up.
Facts,
Yeah.
she did. Then the rest of the team saw her just follow her lead pretty much. So.
What I will say though is that right now, like I said in the last game, we're still struggling to shoot the ball, man. We were shooting 36% from the field, 19% from the three. Our defense won that game. That's what that was. We had 20 points off turnovers, so we did what we were supposed to do defensively. But offensively, we're struggling. And I don't know. Y'all play the game, so y'all talk to me about what do you do when a team is as a whole struggling to shoot the ball.
You got to pick it up on defense.
You keep clawing and fighting defensively and just stay in the gym, man. We, truth be told, our team, the last 5 games, we haven't shot near our percentages either. So, you just, you live and die off your defense as it is. So you got to play good defense. That's a non-negotiable. But when you struggle to score, man, you can't do anything but keep shooting, keep getting better shots, and just stay in the gym, and they're going to fall eventually. So I feel like the girls, they'll get it figured out. The good news is they're getting these wins against good teams while their shots not falling.
Yeah. They're still in that top 3, I believe, in the standings. So they're still handling business, even though they're struggling shooting. So I hope that they can pick that up at the right time, because it really don't matter what you do in the regular season sometimes. You can go into the postseason and whoever you run into with the hottest hand, that's who's going to take the cake.
Exactly.
But Linda, my fault. I'm sorry, Linda. Linda, Megan, and Bobby.
He playing with you like that, Linda.
But Linda, Megan, and Bobby were all in double digits. They scored 64 to Queen's points. So they were really putting it together there at the end of that game in the second half. So props to y'all for getting that dub. Hopefully we can keep it going this week. We got some big games coming up this week as well.
Sir.
So next we're gonna go ahead and jump into baseball. Baseball headed to Victoria, Texas to play Houston, Victoria in a four-game matchup, 2 on Friday, 2 on Saturday. Or 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday, they moved it. But that first game was a pitching duel. They had 2 guys. Our guy was Juan, and the opposing pitcher were both just dealing. Our guy had 7 Ks, 1 walk, and 1 hit through 5 innings. Their guy had 8 Ks, which 8 strikeouts, 2 walks, and 2 hits through 6 innings. So it was really just a back and forth defensive game. And then we put in Grayson, and our defense sort of fell apart behind them. We had 2 errors that gave them a run. So that's how they ended up winning that first game. But what I noticed about that first game is, even though we gave up that 1 run and we had some errors that really sort of put us in the dirt there at the end of the game, we didn't do so well when we had runners in scoring position. When you got runners in scoring position, that means they're either on second base or third base, and we went over. Anytime that anybody was on second or third base, we went over. And when you're playing in a tight game like that, you have to get the runs that are on. You know what I'm saying? They always talk about not leaving ducks on the pond. Like, you can't leave nobody out there with an opportunity to really either close out on the game or tie a game up. So we had a lot of opportunities that we weren't able to capitalize on. I think we were either 0 for 4 or 0 for 5 when runners on base. So that first game was just a tough loss that I feel like we should have won. But the errors at the end and not capitalizing when we had the opportunities was sort of what bit us in that first game. And the second game was another tight game as well. We got out to a quick start. Jose got on. Van moved him over on the single to right field. Then Jose scored on a double steal with him and Van. And then Delvis homered in the third. And that was where our offense stopped, man. We had some struggles on the mound. Wellington, through 2 2/3, he was subbed out halfway through that third inning. He only had 1 strikeout with 8 walks. And when you give people free bases, it's free points. I mean, the way that baseball is when you get people on and they didn't earn it, a lot of times whatever happens behind them, they always score.
Yeah, they gonna score most of the time.
They gonna score. And so when you have 8 walks, you can't really expect to put up 0 runs. It doesn't work that way. So that was really tough to see. That wasn't really what I was expecting to see from him. He's a really dominant guy from what I've heard and what I've seen. But that first showing, I guess maybe, sometimes it's that first one of the season give you the jitters.
Man, it does.
You got to get it out the way, and I understand that because I've seen it time and time again. When a guy comes in, it's his first time starting on a new team. Oftentimes they take a little minute to get into the game, and so
it's high expectation too.
It is.
Like living up to that expectation.
Mm-hmm. The offense did good for part of the game.
Part
I
of
guess.
the game,
They got the sticks going for part of the game.
Yeah.
But maybe it's his first game. I hope this isn't who he is as a pitcher. I think he's just nervous.
Yeah.
New team, like y'all said, new environment. So maybe that's not the norm for him.
Yeah.
So it seems. So
I definitely don't think it is. But that's sort of where that game sort of unfolded. The bottom of the third, he loaded the bases. And they got some runners in scoring position. Of course, they scored them, so they scored 3 runs at the bottom of the third, and the game ended up being 2-3. So that was really it right there. And what was really eye-opening to me was that we beat them in the hit columns, but we didn't beat them in the runs. I know hits don't always add up to runs. That's not how baseball works. But if you got more hits than another team, you should win the game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like you said,
Yeah.
capitalize. It's like basketball.
Yeah.
$1 million move, 5-cent finish. You know what I'm saying? But
that's how it be, bro. I mean, we get the hits, we get the guys in scoring position, and then we don't score the runs. Or we have hits and they're spread out all the way across the game, and we can't really put them together at the right time. But the goal is often to beat them in the hits column. If you beat them in the hits column, you got a good chance to win the game. And we did, and we also should have won that game. We had some timely hits at the beginning of the game, like I said, how we scored our 2 runs. But when you walk guys, they're going to score.
You can't give them free points either, no matter how good we
The free
hit.
ones hurt.
Yeah.
The free ones always hurt. So we ended up losing that one 2-3. The third game sort of was just, we continued to struggle, man. Potts came in, and early on he had 3 walks with 4 hits and 5 runs in the first. So they got off quick.
They got straight to it.
Yeah, they got straight to it, bro. We scored some runs off a couple of their errors, but we continued with the pitching struggles, man. Subbing guys in, they kept walking guys, came in. Another guy coming in that didn't do too well. They giving up a lot of hits, and that was really the end of that game. When I said they got out to a quick start, they did not stop. That game ended up being 7-14. They just kept hitting, kept scoring. We were walking guys. We just really didn't do what we were supposed to do on the mound. That's all I have to say at the end of the day. I know a lot of the times they, in past years, they like to argue and say, well, y'all didn't hit and y'all didn't pitch, and you know how I get.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when you look at it, we didn't pitch well. You can always say we can hit more, but if you put up 7 runs, you should win a game.
Yeah, 7 runs is enough to win.
Yeah, and baseball ain't a game where you winning games 20 to something, unless you're just playing a terrible team. So when you put up 7 runs, you expect to win the game, and we did not do that. We had too many walks, too many opportunities, letting them score off that. And in the 4th game, we ended up losing that one 3-7 as well. So it was a rough weekend for baseball.
Yeah, that's a rough opening weekend.
Yeah. Very rough start. Something, like I said, it's not something I would ever have expected. Houston Victoria, nothing against them. They're a pretty good team. They won the conference last year. I know they upset LSUS, which is in their conference, which is also a really good NAIA baseball team. But last year, I believe we split with them 2-2, and the year before that, I think we did the same thing. But in those previous years, we also should have probably won those series.
Yeah.
But this series, we didn't even get to 2.
Man, 4-0.
Yeah.
That stings. That leaves a bad taste in
That
your
hurts. I know that's probably gonna put some people in a mindset early on that, okay, I need to get right.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
right,
Because when you go out there that first weekend, you know how it is. Everybody excited, everybody ready to go, and then you get out there and you get hit in the mouth 4 times in a row.
You don't know what to do at
Yeah.
that point.
At that point, you going back and you thinking to yourself, okay, what do I need to do differently?
Yeah.
Because that was not the outcome that I wanted to see.
I think it's what any of us wanted to see, and I mean, especially with like the baseball team that we have, the program that we know, like obviously our expectations are drastically high, like drastically high.
Yeah, bro.
Like they up there, like for sure. But I mean, like we said, that leaves a bad taste in your mouth. I hope that we realize, like as a team, what the expectations are that we have for our team, and then and bounce back from that. Use that as motivation, like you said. Go back to the drawing board, get better. What do I need to do to get better to help my team win some ball games?
I agree. And bullpen, everybody involved within the bullpen need to look in the mirror themselves, man. I mean, it's just I ain't played baseball since third grade, so I don't know everything there is to know about baseball. I'm gonna say this though: when you are just giving teams runs and putting people on base, I mean, that don't show that they're better than you. That shows that you bailed them out, you know. So you can't bail out teams like that.
That's literally all we did, man. We just continue to bail them out. And like you said, I think that's a big thing. I think a lot of times when guys are in the bullpen, I'm not saying that for everybody, but I know that a lot of times when you're in the bullpen, you have a mindset that, okay, I'm just chilling. That's not the case all the time. You got to be ready. Like when you get the call, you get the call. Yeah. That's your time to go out there and earn whatever respect that you think you deserve. And so when you have a starter that comes in and he's struggling, you should be thinking to yourself, all right, when I come in this game, when I come in this game, I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do. And
that baseball roster deep.
Yeah. Oh, it's
like if you trying to work for minutes, if you hungry for playing time and for some shine, you have to be prepared. Yeah. Because anybody could have a great game. Anybody could have a horrible game. And I mean, as we saw these past 4 games that we had, people didn't step up to the plate. Yeah. And so, I mean, if you're looking for opportunity, take advantage of that opportunity.
It's a good play on words there, to step up to the plate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny, bro.
Go over my head, bro.
Well, yeah, but that was it, man. I mean, we started out on 4, and like you said, the roster's deep. So you got opportunities to earn your chance. And that first weekend, we always switching players in and out of the game. So I know it can be a little difficult to get your groove going, but when you get in the game, you got to be ready to go. And so that was it for baseball. So hopefully this weekend they got something better going on. Next, we got men's wrestling. They won at Trinidad State. June An and Hunter McCarty both won by fall. Of course, I didn't have no video or nothing to really see everything that was going on, but that's what I did get from them. And for women's wrestling, they also won at Trinidad State. They had, I believe, 4 women. Jonisha, Kaylani, Jasmine, and Peyton also all won by fall. So they were handling business. And I believe that women's wrestling in the latest ranking, they just got put back into that top 20 at the 20th spot. So they're working their way back up, man. So all we got for y'all to close this one out, man, is this upcoming games. And we also wanted to tell you guys about something that we're going to add to the show, man. We're going to add a top 5 plays of the week. Devin said something to me about it last semester. We didn't get it into the show last semester, but I wanted to get into it this semester. So if y'all got plays where y'all think y'all did something crazy or y'all did something stupid on camera and it looked real nice, send it in to my email, porterj@wbu.edu. And let me know that you think this is the top play, and we'll vote on it, and we'll put our top 5 plays up.
Are we doing game plays only, or are we going to do like...
Nah, game
plays
only.
Only, if you send me practice film...
I'm about to say...
If you send me practice film, I'm going to just go ahead and mark you off the list, my boy. Don't do that. But let me go ahead and get into these upcoming games because I know we're coming close on time. I know today we got wrestling. I know y'all probably ain't going to see it by the time we put the show out, but we got wrestling today. Thursday, we got basketball versus OCU at 6 and 8 here at home. So y'all got to come out there and check it out, man. Got some competition, win some prizes. So y'all know y'all want to win some money.
It's
so you
money on the line. So y'all, come on, man. Y'all know y'all want
that's what I'm saying. The free throw contest. So y'all got to be there for the money. Baseball will be headed to San Antonio to face Our Lady of the Lake. That's the first time we played them in a little while. So hopefully they go out there and it's a fun little trip and they come back with some dubs. They'll be playing them on Thursday and Friday. Friday we got softball here at versus Oklahoma Wesleyan at 2 and 4 over there behind the Y. Y'all know them little fields over there behind the Y. I know plenty of y'all done been over there and did your little workout. So y'all can go on over there at 2 and 4 on Friday to go check out some softball, man. It's their first. I don't want to say first real season, but it's their first real season. You know what I'm saying? I know last year they had some games, but they weren't actually eligible to play conference games. So they playing this year. So y'all go out there and check out the first games on Friday.
History, man.
That's what I'm saying.
You can tell your grandkids, man. I was at
the first Wayland softball game,
man. So y'all pull up, show love to the softball team. Man.
And then track and field is headed to Lebanon to play, or not play, my fault. They have a track meet at South Plains on Friday and Saturday. And then Saturday also softball again against Oklahoma Wesleyan at 12-2, and basketball versus John Brown at 2-4. So Saturday, y'all got a whole bunch of things to do, so you gotta show up to the games. Check it out. But that's all we got for y'all, man. I know we coming close on time, so we're gonna go ahead and close it out and wrap it up. We hope to see you guys the same time next week, man. Y'all have a good one.